out of his group to get that, a decent scoring. I think 36 points out of his group, and then 25 points just edging out the likes of Zero, Sneaks, really, really good racers to get into the top 5 of his semifinal, and debatably the harder semifinal group. So really impressive for Mario Party King to go into the grand finals. Interested to see how he's going to go up into the grand finals against some of these guys now that he's faced them already. But in this second group, we're going to see Geronimo, Kyret, Chino, Cherry, Spooky, Marshall Troopa, Last Place for Life, Sir9, Kehun, and Kiro at the end there. So another very difficult group. Of course, semifinals are more than likely going to always be difficult.
Right.
And I feel like Spooky is my person to watch here in this second semifinal because of how well he's able to race and kind of just take some of these races by storm. I'm really impressed to see if he can take one of these top spots.
I'm going to give it to Sir9. I think Sir9 has been racing very consistently. He's always been in the top 3 positions, fighting for it, ended up getting 3rd place in all of his races inside of the pre-qualifiers. So I really think Sir9, with the player base that we have right now, is going to be able to edge it out against Geronimo. Geronimo, I think, will take 2nd. Kyret will take 3rd. And then I believe Cherry, I think Cherry's going to take 4th. And then Kiro is going to be able to take that recovery from the second chance battle and steal away 5th place like Mario Party King did in his semifinals.
Yeah, hopefully with that he's going to be able to, like you said, make a way back in the top 5. Kiro definitely with a rebuy was looking for some redemption, and it definitely got it there in the second chance battle at the very end as the timer went down. So really happy for Kiro to try and make a name for himself in this second semifinal group. We'll be interested to see, of course, I'm going to say it every time, the tracks that are going to be played on this one. Still have not seen a single Twisted Mansion, no Bowser's Castle, a lot of the maps we're not used to seeing.
Right.
Grumble Volcano.
Dry Desert.
Dry Desert, and Moo Moo Meadows. There's a lot.
Sweet Mountain?
There's a lot of tracks that we have not seen tonight. And even the likes of maps we're usually used to seeing, like the Not Your Rainbow Road. We usually see that a lot. We haven't actually seen that tonight at all.
Well, there's a reason why it's not my Rainbow Road is because it shouldn't exist in Mario Kart. But you know what should exist are those fries that I want to be eating. Those look really, really good right now.
Yeah, I'm kind of jealous of Chino right now, and I might give him the energy to push forward here. But like you said, could either push, give him energy or take him, put him to sleep. So we'll see if that works out for him overall. You're now seeing Geronimo and Kyret there on at the end. Trying to talk, a little bit maybe about strategy, about how they're going to do overall in this second semifinal. But overall, Geronimo with a really great finish, in his group. 46 points over total. Just missed out by that shutout by 2 points by getting a second place. So an extremely good finish for Geronimo, and especially a pretty difficult group as well.
Absolutely, and right now, he's going to be one of the names to really be considered. Kyret doing an amazing job, recovering very well week after week, and I think it's maybe that he's just stopped raging and he started focusing on the races. I think that's what's really been edging it out. Kyret doing a wonderful job getting a couple first-place finishes here tonight. I'm curious to see how it's going to end up happening right now, and then you do see Cherry live on the screen. She ended up edging out of the other players in her racing, and she's going to be able to try and edge it out here in the semifinals, but she's got a hard group to go up against. Cherry does have that possibility. I got to say, she's number 4 out of 5 on my list to make it.
Yeah, I definitely think Cherry will be able to make it out of this group. I feel like she's been pretty consistent overall in the preliminary, and is going to try and do the same thing in this semifinal. And considering this is the easier semifinal, in my opinion, I feel like there's definitely a chance for her to go through. But that being said, there's also a lot of players in this group that could really easily just take one of those top 5 spots. I mean, the likes of, not speaking of the top ranked players like, Kyret or whoever it might be, or Marshall.
Right.
Speaking of Chino, who's ranked 11th, who really could take those spots away. Spooky could also do the same. Someone like Last Place for Life, we've actually seen him being able to finish in one of those 4th or 5th place spots in the semifinals. So really a lot of potential for some players to really mix this one up.
Absolutely, and we're going to be getting those races started here in just a second. But again, I got to give it to Sir9. Sir9's going to pull an upset here tonight. I'm making a prediction because I am going to be psychic. Not really. I'm not a psychic. I eat too much food. That doesn't work that way. I don't know how that works, but we're going to look at Last Place for Life right now. LP4L really has done an amazing job of just showing amazing racing, and one of the reasons why he does so well is he uses items precision-wise. He waits for the right moment to use them both forward and backwards, offensively and defensively, and it just works to his advantage.
It definitely does, and it's realized why he's gotten into one of these top 3 spots all the time. But now going into the first race here, it looks like to be Yoshi's Circuit again for the 3rd time, I believe, tonight. So we're going to see how these players are pretty much used to this already. They're definitely going to know the map layout and to be used to this kind of a situation. You are seeing, though, a Metal Mario on the top left of your screen, going to be holding on to that first place overall, but it's mixing up a lot there as Cherry actually was able to slide right by. Barely hitting into the wall there is going to slow her down slightly, but still being able to drift around that corner, holding onto this turn. Of course, this is the first race of the second semifinal group. The players are over there on your left-hand side. It will be very interesting to see how the standings are going to come up after this first one.
And this is likely going to be one of the players. Likely it's going to be Sir9, who might have changed over to the Mr. Scooty. We're going to find out here in just a second. But one of the names I wanted to bring up was Kiro. Kiro was one of the only 2 players who did have a mushroom to use the first waterfall jump. We might end up seeing that here in just a second as well. But that's going to be a huge, huge advantage for a lot of our players. And again, it's going to be Sir9. He is going to be switching his loadout. Sir9, again, the name to focus on for me. I really think he's going to do an amazing job of changing his loadout and then changing his mindset. And then it looks like Hero might be having a bit of an issue. He ended up falling all the way down into 10th place. He was in 2nd place at the beginning of lap number 1.
It really do be like that sometimes, Jake, and we are going to see a blue shell is going to come out and hit Sir9 here in first place. He's probably going to try and use whatever he has. Not going to have anything to actually stop that blue shell, though. And still a decent lead, though, from the likes of Cherry there in 2nd place. So with that recovery, still has a couple seconds away from Cherry. And Cherry, with only a green shell, not going to be able to do too much to actually advance onto Sir9. She's going to throw that green shell offensively there, which is interesting. I thought she might have been able to use that defensively and maybe hit the player behind him. Or behind her, but she is just going to keep pushing forward here. There is going to be a player that uses that mushroom shortcut, and actually 2 of them that goes past Cherry. But Sir9 still in a really good spot right now.
Absolutely. I definitely would have thrown that green shell backwards at that point. Trying to throw it forward and then attempt to bounce it off and then hit Sir9 wasn't really going to work very well. We're going to look at last place for Life, who's currently trying to move himself back up into 5th place. 5th place currently being dominated by Geronimo. Tried to throw a red shell out. Didn't work to his advantage. It is a battle right now for these players. And all of a sudden, out of nowhere, we have 2 players coming up against. It's going to be Chino and Cherry. Going to be dropping Sir9 back into the infamous 3rd place.
And exactly like I was saying beforehand, Chino is one of those players that can steal a first place away. That's exactly what he did from Sir9 and Cherry right there. So Chino just coming right by. I think it's the power of the fries here. And he's got wings too, actually. So the power of the food that Chino has gotten him that first place victory. So he's going to be able to push pretty well here overall.
I hope he's playing with his own controller and not one of the ones here in the HyperX arena, because if I'm going to go down there, I'm going to go play one of those Nintendo Switches. I don't want wing juice all over my controller. I'm just saying.
Wing juice?
Yeah.
Is that a thing?
It's a thing.
Oh, that sounds gross.
You're pretty gross. Anyways, we're gonna keep taking a look at all the players right now. Again, they are random maps, by the way, so there is no guarantee of whatever you do get. All the maps are completely random, so you have to make sure you have a loadout that is versatile enough to play any of these races. Looking at Kiro right now, he actually got 7th place there in that race. He did recover from 10th to get to 7th.
Yeah, and it seems like he was kind of happy about whatever this map selection might have been, so hopefully for him able to get closer to one of those top spots moving forward here, and we'll see if he's able to actually get one of those top spots. Would obviously be really good for his general points. Spooky, though, in 8th place, last place for 9th, and Kai Rhett with a 10th place finish in that first race is a really rough spot for him to be in.
And we didn't get the chance to see him rage on camera. If he did.
True. He probably did. I mean, to get 10th place, you got to rage a little bit. But we're going to be seeing now this second race is going to be starting off kind of quickly, as I believe Geronimo there on the link is going to be holding on to first place overall. And we are now seeing the players grinding here for the second race. The leaderboard coming in on your left-hand side. Chino, obviously, with that first place, kind of out of nowhere, is able to get himself that 12-point. And Cherry and Sir9 really closely followed after that. Geronimo there in 4th. And Kehu with a surprising 5th place. And the rest goes down from there. But a surprising finish for Kai Rhett in 10th place. That is the player you want to look out for. Obviously, rank number 4 and the highest in this group with a 10th place finish to start it off.
Absolutely. We're going to look at Kai Rhett right now, who's actually sitting in first place. Amazing recovery from the first race right now. And one of the things to bring up that you're going to probably see from a lot of our racers here is drafting. We never really talked about that in this race. But drafting is when you get behind an opponent just enough to cause an air current to push you forward. And you're going to find that it's actually quite rare to do, because it requires you to follow your opponent to almost a T, and just enough to be able to get that draft to push you forward. And you have to go around them. Think of NASCAR. That's exactly where you're going to find it often. But Kai Rhett with a sizable lead. Looks like that Link character going to be Geronimo sitting in 2nd place. Kiro going to be taking 3rd, and it looks like Sir9 going to be bringing up the rear in 4th place.
So you can see exactly why Kiro might have been excited to get this race going, because he's doing pretty well for himself. Looks like he ended up doing a mushroom shortcut there to get himself into 2nd. And Kai Rhett with a really solid lead, though. This is what he needs, obviously. After getting a last place finish, he needs a first place right after to really kind of recover on those points, because even then, a 13-point total is going to average around that 6.5-point mark. So he's still going to try and figure out how he can recover points here. He's going to have to use his only defensive item to get rid of that red shell, and obviously that was past the double item box, so now he has nothing to defend himself.
And it looks like Sir 9 might be the one that ended up using that lightning in a blue shell. Going to be coming up out of nowhere. Kiro doing an amazing job of moving away. You do see Geronimo passing through. You do see Kai Red. No raging from him. He's just going to look forward. Going to throw that banana. Ends up getting ghosted. So he has nothing to defend himself. And now Geronimo leading into the end of lap number 3. Going to try and see if he's going to be able to edge it out. Is he going to be able to do it? He doesn't. And all of a sudden, Chino out of nowhere going to be able to steal away, I believe, second place against Geronimo.
Yeah, I'm really happy Kai Red didn't fall out of his chair there. It looks like he had a lot of momentum, so I'm happy to see he stayed in his chair. But he's going to be able to take that first place overall after a last place in the last map. In the last track, I should say. So nicely done. A good recovery from Kai Red, especially where Chino almost took another first place kind of randomly out of the player's hands with that mushroom shortcut at the end. So Chino doing a really nice job overall, though, in some of these races and is currently holding on to the top points because of it. So we'll see him hold on to first after these 2 races have gone through. And we're going to be seeing Geronimo actually in second. And very interesting now mix-up here on the leaderboards. Last place for life, not getting the solidified spots he wants so far. Same with Spooky, same with Kiro and Sir 9, I guess. All not really getting what they wanted.
This is a very interesting leaderboard change. The fact that Cherry is moving herself up into third and Sir 9 just falling all the way down into 7th place. Kiro dropping 1 spot as well. I'm kind of curious about what's going on. What's going through their minds?
Yeah, it's definitely interesting to see what they're thinking about. Obviously, going into the last half of this semifinal is going to be interesting to see what they decide they want to go for, and we'll see how they're going to manipulate the track or whatever they can do. Item usage, of course, is going to be extremely important. No item smuggling has came through so far. So Zero is the only one that really uses that besides the likes of Manklor usually when we saw him here. But as of right now, everyone's just going to be hitting that boost and trying to push forward for that first place spot. But right now, Kyret is going to be leading that charge. Did get a coin, unfortunately, so that first item is going to be very, very useless to him. Not going to be too beneficial as you see Sir 9 push it past here with a nice speed and drift. Pi will be able to take on to first place here. The leaderboard coming in on the left-hand side as well. Chino leading the charge by just 3 points from Geronimo. Cherry, Kyra, and Marshall leading out your top 5, but K-Hoon and Sir 9 not too far away from that place in the top 5.
Leading into race number 3, this is one of the tracks that I do expect Sir 9 to get into a top 2 situation. And the reason why is because this is a track that I know he has practiced very, very well. And going over to Kiro right now, again, sitting in 8th place, he needs to be able to secure at least a top 3 situation. He only needs to get again into a top 5. So he's only 4 points behind. As long as he gets a good, solid race under his belt, he should be able to edge it out and get into the top 5. We're going to find that out as we look at Chino. Chino currently sitting in a 2nd place, does get a decent loadout. He has a mushroom and a red shell. Going to be able to use the mushroom effectively, and the red shell will be used defensively in the meantime, knowing that the player in front of him does have that red shell defensively, actually. So right now the question is, what is going to happen leading into the last race here in Mario Circuit?
Yeah, and interesting enough, Chino uses a loadout that we've never seen anybody use. Like, this is specifically to Chino. We don't usually see those that loadout, the character we never really see, the wheels we never see, and the cart we never really see either. So Chino using a very comfortability specific, I guess, loadout for himself, and is going to be holding on to that 2nd place spot as of right now, and is going to be holding on to that. And we'll obviously see as Kyret, though, getting hit by a blue shell, is going to drop down to 2nd place as Chino actually beating him out for that one because of the blue shell. Didn't have anything actually defensive to recover from that one, but a double item box here is going to try and boost him up into 1st place. Chino with a defensive red shell could finish the race here. We're going to see a Koopa, which I believe is Marshall, actually beating out the likes, but he's going to go right past him. Even though he does have the mushrooms, you see Kyret did finish there in 1st. It looks like Chino in 2nd, and from there, it definitely was a big mess at the end of that.
I think, yep, Kiro ended up getting 5th place as well in that race. He definitely needed the points from that, so that's going to be good for him. Might push him up in the leaderboards. Not sure what happened to Sir 9 just yet. We're going to take a look at the leaderboards as it does continue to develop, but it is absolutely anybody's race right now to be able to edge it out. Very excited to see how it's going to be playing through. Kiro right now still sitting in 8th. Sir 9 moving up into 6th place, but Geronimo dropping all the way down to 5th place. It is really anybody's race, with right now only 4 points separating Kiro and Geronimo from 5th to 8th.
Yeah, and I believe Geronimo ended up getting, I think he was at 17 points before that 3rd race, so I think he got last place in that 3rd one, and that really dropped him down a lot. So we'll have to see him recover in this last race here. Of course, Chino already guaranteed. I'm assuming with Kyra and Cherry with 25 and 24 points respectively, also guaranteed to go through into the grand finals. So those last 2 spots, though, very, very close. Only 5 points differentiating, like you said, 8th place to even 4th place now. So we'll see how that's going to unfold. This is going to be the last race of the semifinal number 2, and it's going to be on Mario Kart Stadium. So this is going to be one of the more simpler maps, and we'll see how they're going to play through this one.
This is really the map where Kiro has to dominate. He needs to get a first or second to be able to secure a top 5 position, and he still needs to make sure that Geronimo and Marshall Trupa don't edge out their positions as well. So Kiro really has a lot of shoes to fill. We're going to look at Chino right now, who is currently sitting in 3rd inside of this race, but currently right now sitting in 1st in the leaderboards with Kyret down by 5 points, Cherry sitting in 3rd, Marshall in 4th, Geronimo in 5th, and then Sir9 barely able to edge it out, only 3 points behind Geronimo. If Sir9 gets a good position, he could really steal it away from Geronimo, but then Kiro and Kehun have the chance to steal it back as well.
Yeah, and you saw the face of Chino right there as he got bombed. He had no idea that was going to come out, and immediately just pretty much landed on it. So he unfortunately got hit down into 10th place because of it. So, Kiro with a nice drift, or a nice mushroom shortcut, is going to get him rather so closely to the top spots, but with the actual control, couldn't really control his cart once he did get past that shortcut. So unfortunately still seems to be hovering around that middle of the pack. Sir9 with that bomb thrown behind him. It looks like he might have connected on one of the players. He is currently sitting in 1st, though, with 8 coins. Going to get 10 from these 2 other coins there, and is now at that 2.5% speed boost. This coin in his inventory not going to be too great for him, but he does have a decent lead from the rest of the pack and a green shell. Probably going to use that coin. He doesn't actually use the coin there to try and get a different item, so interesting enough. Might be using this as a way to bait out a boo in some case to actually make sure that he does save that green shell later on.
Could be likely, but the benefit of that really is too minimal for him to hold on to. He could have been able to get rid of the coin and potentially rolled through and gotten either a green defensive shell or even a banana, and that could have been a lot better for him. He does actually have the green shell and another coin available, and that could be useful for him leading in. There might be a lightning strike that might happen. We never know, but it looks like that distance is too large for anybody. Sir9 going to be your victor in this race, easily going to put him in a top 5. He will be going into the grand finals.
Yeah, that's a real close heartbreaking one right there, or well, heartwarming one, I guess, for Sir9, as he was able to get that 1st place finish, and I believe ended up finishing at 5th place overall. So I think on his screen he ended up barely solidifying a 5th place spot, and I think that means Geronimo did get knocked out, unfortunately, of that top 5. Looks like Chino overall was able to take that 1st place though, and Cherry looks like able to tie up onto that one. So an extremely impressive run through for a lot of these players, and players we're kind of used to seeing in the top 5 that we're kind of expecting going forward. I mean, a very different way of seeing the top 5 though. I didn't think Chino would be tied for 1st with Cherry. That was a very impressive showing from Chino in that semifinal.
Absolutely. Unfortunately, Kiro did fall down into 8th place. He did a great job being able to recover, did have the rerun to make it into 2nd chance and made it into the semifinals, but unfortunately ended up getting 8th place and was not able to make it through. So that is going to be it for Kiro tonight. Still did amazing racing, and we still have Mario Party King edging it out against the ranked players. So he right there could really pull an upset against all of our ranked players and steal one of the paid positions tonight.
Yeah, he is the only unranked player in the grand finals. So with the way he's been racing though, I feel like he definitely could have a chance at least to get into the top 8, which is the paid position. So 10 players going to the grand finals, only 8 out of those 10 do get paid. So you just don't want to be on the bottom, and that is I feel like easy enough to do, but I say that this is the most difficult set of races you're going to have all night, so it really isn't as easy as you're expecting. And even the likes of Nevinator struggling to get out of his group going forward into this grand final. We'll see if he's going to be I mean, I feel like he wasn't struggling. I feel like the items just, everyone was bowling him, I felt like, in the semifinals. Just couldn't quite get there. But we do have your final results for you for that 2nd semifinal to see exactly who went into the grand final. Of course, the top 5 do make it out of this one. So Chino and Cherry, as well as Kyret, Marshall, Trupa, and Sir9.
That's going to be, again, a very unfortunate position for LVZ. Kiro, let's take a look at the replays right now for semifinal number 2 here at Saturday Night Speedway. Gotta say, the struggle absolutely was real, and the items, again, making a huge factor. And nobody really holding on to their items defensively. We did see Sir9 did not hold on to that banana defensively, and it cost him.
And I feel like we see that a lot happen in Yoshi's Circuit specifically. That's happened a couple times of the night where we've seen players just kind of stranded in the desert with no defensive items, and it really has been crucial for them to actually secure some placement. So seeing some bombs overall, actually doing a decent bit of work. You're seeing the blue shells, of course, galore. Chino being able to secure himself some nice spots overall, but also landing on some of the bombs there is going to drop him down a little bit. And just really crazy gameplay. And